Hello, I hope you are doing well. If you are a teacher in your home country or overseas and you are looking to obtain a US teacher license without relocating to the US, then this video is for you. And yes, it is possible to obtain a US teacher license wherever you find yourself. Moreland University makes it possible for anyone who intends to obtain a US teacher license. I've never been to the US before. My name is David. I'm a teacher from Ghana. I've been teaching for the past 13 years in Ghana, Vietnam, and currently in Indonesia. I obtained a US teacher license through Moreland University. If you don't know about Moreland University, it is an online graduate school that specializes in many courses suited for teachers. They have a flagship program after which when you go through, you can use that in addition to some other exam results to apply for a US teacher license. I went through it and I'm currently a DC licensed science teacher. In this video, I'm going to talk about what makes Moreland University ideal for international teachers. Let's get started. Moreland University has many master's degree programs, and their flagship program is called the Teach Now Teacher Preparation Program. And with that, you have 9 months to complete. And I'm going to talk about why Moreland University is ideal for international teachers. One, the program is fully online. That means that irrespective of your time zone, you can take advantage of this. And even if you are on a full teacher workload or schedule, you can take advantage of this and then go through the program. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm from Ghana. I'm a teacher from Ghana. When I was in Vietnam, I went through Moreland University's master's program in education technology and their Teach Now Teacher Preparation Program. It was fully online. I was fully employed. I was working full-time and I was doing the program. So you can take advantage of this and then access the program wherever you are. You can be in Asia, you can be in Africa, you can be in South or North America, and take advantage of this feature. Go through the program. Reason number 2 is Moreland University's flagship program, that is the Teach Now Teacher Preparation Program. It's a pathway for anyone to obtain a US teacher license. Like I mentioned, I've never been to the US. I've never even been to any US embassy, but I have a US teacher license from the District of Columbia. I'm a general science licensed teacher from the District of Columbia, and I went through Moreland University's Teach Now Teacher Preparation Program. So you can take advantage of this and you can obtain a US teacher license. And having a US teacher license in international education is very valuable. I've made several videos on that, but I like to mention here that the US teacher license is respected in many countries. When I obtained the license in Vietnam, all the international schools, many of them, in fact most of them, if not all of them, they respect the US teacher license. You can use the US teacher license in Vietnam. My current job here in Indonesia, one of the requirements in the job description was a candidate or an applicant having a US teacher license. If not, you wouldn't even be invited to the interview. So yeah, the US teacher license is also respected here in Indonesia because yeah, the immigration respects it enough for you to be given a work permit because they see you to be a professional in the field you claim to be in. So obtaining a US teacher license is very valuable and you can use it in many countries around the world, and Moreland University makes it possible. The third reason why international teachers find Moreland University ideal is they have flexible start dates. Can you imagine you enrolling in a university without adjusting your schedule, but you enroll in it depending on how available you are? This is something not so many people talk about. Moreland University start dates are flexible, so you would have to check which dates best fits your situation, your workload, your busy schedule, your availability. You take advantage of that and then you go through the program. And you should understand that when you are doing this, or when you are starting the program, you'll be doing it with people, with cohorts who also have the same start dates as you. So you'll be enrolling the program and doing the program with very small cohort groups. And normally these cohort groups, they are diverse. When I was doing the program, when I was doing the master's program and the Teach Now teacher preparation program, I had cohort members from different parts of the world, and it made the learning very interesting because you get to hear perspectives, you get to hear information going on in different parts of the world, and it makes learning quite easy. At least it relieves you of some stress, knowing that you are not the only different person in the group. So they have flexible start dates, and you have very small cohort groups you can take advantage of. Reason number 4, the assignments you complete in any of the programs at Moreland University, they are practical and they suit the situations in which you find yourself. When I was doing the programs, all the assignments they gave out, you would have to answer them closely related to your context. So if you are asked to go find out about education rules, about immigration rules, they will not give you any random country. You would have to go find out the immigration rules in the country you find yourself. So it makes the learning very practical. So they have a very practical curriculum that makes learning, very interesting. You get to apply whatever principles, whatever new things you learn in your own context. And this actually improves your confidence, and it gives you a lot of practical strategies you can implement in and out of your classrooms. So you are not just learning theory, you get to apply everything you learn in your classroom and in your own context. The next reason why international teachers find Moreland University ideal is they have very supportive faculty. Every week you meet with your faculties or your instructors and your cohort members, and you do discussions online on Zoom. And in these Zoom discussions, your instructor will take you through all the activities you need to complete, will take you through whatever curriculum or whatever plan you have for that week, and you get to interact with the instructors, with the cohort members in smaller groups. The cohort groups are small, and you can you even do smaller groups to discuss issues, and then you get to share ideas. And the faculty, the instructors, they are very supportive because they give you feedback on time, on your lesson, on your assignments, on your videos, on your reflections, and you get to have a lot of strategies. You get to have a lot of tools that you can use in your classroom and outside of classroom. I'll talk about that in my next point. But yeah, the instructors are very supportive. I'm still friends with some of the instructors on LinkedIn and Instagram as I speak. This video will not be complete if I don't talk about the costs involved in training with Moreland University. I can bet you that when you research around, the cost involved in Moreland University's Teach Now teacher preparation program and their master's program is one of the most affordable, if not the most affordable around. The cost makes a lot of sense. It's very affordable, and not just that, they give you a flexible payment option. You get to pay monthly, and this relieves you of some stress on your finances. So the cost is not just affordable, but you are given flexible payment options to further ease stress on your finances. So I've talked about the highs, the pros of Moreland University, and I think it would only be fair if I talk about some of the considerations, some of the cons you should consider if you want to enroll in Moreland University's programs. You need to understand that the program is rigorous, so you would have to allocate time to complete assignments. And if you are a full-time teacher, which many of the candidates that I met during my studies with Moreland University, they were full-time teachers. It's time consuming, and it can be very stressful. So you would have to prepare mentally and then allocate time for your work and also for completing tasks or activities or assignments in Moreland University. Also, you would have to consider tech stuff like internet, your laptops. You would have to check your microphones, the microphones you use on your laptops, because without these, if you don't check them, it will be very stressful to go through the program, especially with internet. And you would have to consider the time zones too. All these are considerations you should make before you enroll in Moreland University's program. And you need to understand that the license you obtain from one US state, currently I have a DC teacher license, even though it is accepted in many countries around the world and in many states in the US, it is not accepted everywhere. So wherever you want to work, you would have to go research and then find out if the license you intend to obtain is acceptable over there. These are some of the considerations you should make when you are enrolling in any of the programs, especially the Teach Now Teacher Preparation Program at Moreland University. The last considerations I would like to raise is the cost versus the return on investment. In my case, I would say I was lucky, but I always tell my viewers that luck is what happens when preparations meet opportunity. You'd have to go out there and make your luck. Even though the cost involved in training with Moreland University is affordable, to many people out there, it can be quite expensive. So you'd have to consider the cost you incur and look at how fast you can, get returns on your investment. Like I mentioned earlier, in my case, I was lucky because I obtained the license on the 29th of May 2024, and on the 29th of August, I landed this international teaching job. So again, I was lucky, but yes, again, luck is what happens when preparations meet opportunity. So before you enroll in Moreland University's program, especially the Teach Now Teacher Preparation Program, you'd have to make all these considerations before you make any form of commitment. Now, with all these pros and cons, who should consider enrolling in Moreland University's programs? This is a personal advice to my African brethren out there. I always talk about this. You would realize that many international schools around the world, even in your home countries, they don't run programs that originate from your country. I'm from Ghana. I don't know of any international school in Ghana that runs the Ghana curriculum. But many international schools around the world, they run the US curriculum, they run the Canadian curriculum, they run the British curriculum. We have Australian international schools running the Australian curriculum. So if you have a credential or a teaching license from any of these Western countries, your chances of landing jobs in these international schools, it's high. I know there are several reasons for which you can obtain jobs in these international schools, but having a Western license, having a teacher license from a Western country, it will increase your chances. It will get you closer to your next or your first international teaching jobs. So if you are a teacher in Africa, wherever you find yourself, you can be in your home country, you can be teaching abroad. To be able to be recognized, if you want to obtain a license which is recognized in so many countries, I would advise you to consider obtaining a US teacher license through Moreland University. I cannot overemphasize this. Also, if you are someone who is already teaching and you want to obtain high-paying jobs, just go for a US teacher license. And maybe in my next videos, I'll be talking about I always talk about this on my TikTok. That is you selling your services to the rich. The effort you take to sell a product to a poor person is the same effort you use to sell the same or similar product to a rich person. The water you buy in the local store, it is H2O, but the water you buy in this high-end 5-star restaurant, they are more expensive, but the formula is still H2O. So why don't you strive to sell your water in this high-end 5-star universities? You sell your services to the rich. So if you're a teacher, remember, as a teacher, wherever you find yourself, you'll be planning lessons, you'll be doing assessments. You do this in high-paying international schools too. So why don't you prepare yourself and go render your services in these high-paying international schools? If you want to do that, you need to be able to stand out, because these rich people, these rich international schools, they want you to have qualifications, experiences, certifications that make you stand out from the crowd, because they normally, the rich people, they talk about class, they talk about stuff they have that others don't have. So obtain this license, which so many people don't want to obtain because of maybe the work involved. And this will get you closer to your next or your first high-paying teaching job. So if you're somebody who intends to make a lot of money in teaching, consider obtaining a US teacher license, and it will get you closer to your next or your first high-paying teaching job. I have made several videos on Moreland University on my channel. So just go to the playlist Moreland University and you see all the videos, and then you watch them. In some of the videos, I taught how to go through the program, how to obtain a US teacher license, the other tests you take, and other certifications or other places you need to go get documents from to add to your applications for a US teacher license. Watch these videos, and if you have any comments, if you have any question, just drop it in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to respond to you. If you found value in this video, I would appreciate you like, you subscribe, and then you hit the notification bell. I hope I've been able to convince you to consider Moreland University for your US teacher license. Until my next video, you take care. Bye-bye. Peace.